Good morning, beautiful people of the center.
Good morning.
Well, before we talk about it, let's practice, shall we? Because you know how it is when things happen. People want to talk about it. But as metaphysicians, we've got to talk about it. You know what I mean? We've got to practice as well, lest we become obsessed with what's going on. Well, we must deal with what's going on, but we must practice. If we don't practice, who will? So I'm going to use Christian D. Larson's Pathway of Roses for the practice. And if the word God doesn't work for you in this reading, then feel free to substitute something else that stands for you as a symbol of the ground of all being, the thing itself, the eternal life, the mind of creation. I invite you to breathe in with me, to exhale, letting your eyes close. When I look into the future, I am not anxious about methods or means to carry out what the future moment may demand. When I come to that place, God will be there. The limitless powers of infinite life will be there. The wisdom, the light, and the luminous understanding of my highest spiritual nature will be there. All of me will be there. And the power of my faith to draw upon the limitless for any desire or need will also be there. I know that all things are mine now, and the now that is now is eternal. And so with these words in mind, I invite you to use your beautiful imagination to imagine a Sonoma County and a Napa County in the future, not too far in the future, a time in which there is a generous and ongoing sharing of heart and resources, in which nature and art and connection and community are valued and emphasized. A time in which beauty and kinship with life are honored. And using your beautiful imagination, imagine our place, our home, our state, rebuilt, but not according to the image it once was, even beyond that. Radiant, healthy. And if your thoughts should stumble or stray, wondering how this should come to pass, say silently to yourself, there is a presence pervading all things. This presence is God. There is a presence pervading all things. This presence is God. There is a presence pervading all things. This presence is God. There is an intelligence running through all beings. This intelligence is God. There is an intelligence running through all beings. This intelligence is God. There is a power sustaining everything. This power is God. There is a unity binding all into one whole. This unity is God. And even though I personally may not know how resurrection is to come to our counties, that power and that intelligence and that presence within me and within all life does. And it responds to my imagination now as I see our home restored. When I look into the future, I am not anxious about methods or means to carry out what the future moment may demand. When I come to that place, God will be there. The limitless powers of infinite life will be there. The wisdom, the light, and the luminous understanding of my highest spiritual nature will be there. All of me will be there, and the power of my faith to draw upon the limitless for any desire or need will also be there. I know that all things are mine now, and the now that is now is eternal. And so with this in mind, I use my imagination, my beautiful imagination, to see the beings of Northern California elevated, beyond restored, beyond rebuilt, expanded, heart opened, connected. I see our state in a place that exceeds my highest vision. And so I say to myself, today my love goes out to all people, to all beings, and to all things, and there is no fear in this love, for perfect love casts out fear, and Spirit's love in me is perfect. Even as I speak these words, I realize that the love flowing through me emanates from the living Spirit. And I make myself available to see with the eyes of love, to see past what I think is possible, to open my mind, to embrace wholeness. When I look into the future, I am not anxious. Right now, every weight or burden of thought or feeling falls away from me as I am lifted into the atmosphere of peace. And I accept that which has always been present within me: deep, abiding peace, strong love, amazing creativity, and power. And as I am lifted up, with me are all those who enter into my thought atmosphere. And I invite you now to let the next breath you take be deeper than the one before. And as the movement of breath restores us to being present in the room, I invite you to just feel and sense the peace that is around you. It is nice to be home again. Last week, I was in Atlanta while Dr. Kim spoke to you. I had the opportunity to be with our friend and colleague, Reverend David Alt, who we love so much, who does so much work in the world to raise funds and build schools for children in impoverished nations. And you see, he was to receive a doctorate, an honorary doctorate, and his community had been planning for this for a long time. And then, of course, our city caught on fire. And he called and he said it would be completely understandable if you couldn't come. And I said to him, in fact, keeping things going as best as we can is part of the recovery process. because it helps create a sense of normalcy in an otherwise chaotic experience. And not only that, I got to bring back with me a nice fat check from the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta for our Member Assist program, which was wonderful, yeah, So we send our thanks to Dr. David Alt and the community in Atlanta and all of the centers around our nation who are sending us money, sending donations to help our Member Assist program. And if you would like to read the messages that come with the donations, take Kleenex with you. They're outside the Grinton Chapel, the place where some of you receive prayer after service. Just in that passage that goes through to the administrative building, you'll see all the letters. Well, some of them are up there so far. Just absolutely beautiful. And we are still receiving donations, and I had a look at the total amount to date. Now, I can't remember how many thousands of dollars it is, but what struck me as I looked at it, it was like, X $1,000 and 18 cents. And I thought, why 18 cents? I mean, who writes a donation of X dollars and 18 cents? Well, it turns out that last week, one of our little ones in the youth and family ministry brought his piggy bank and broke it open over the donation jar. And that's where the 18 cents comes from. And we're going to keep that 18 cents there to remind us that everybody wants to help. Indeed, right now we have many, many more offers to give help than we have requests to receive help. That's what's going on right now, because the feeling of wanting to help is very present in people right now. It's in our awareness right now. And I've been talking to people who felt frustrated, not knowing how to help. I've been saying, hang in there. Help is going to be needed later too. Yeah, because maybe it's too soon for people to know what kind of help would be helpful. So that urge to help, nurture it. Keep it alive. Watch that ember doesn't go out. And then what is yours to do, when that becomes clear to you, then do that. I've been talking to people who've been affected by the fires on the phone, on social media, even bumping into them in Oliver's and asking, what can we do? And some have said that without the kindness of perfect strangers and friends and family, that this would be unbearable. And some have even said they've been taken so well care of, as if held, they say it's like angels around them, to the point where some are not aware what their needs might be yet. Because, some people woke up to a whole new world, one that they're not yet oriented to. So it isn't a surprise that they wouldn't know. One person I spoke to who had to leave in minutes. And they couldn't even take the good car out of the garage. They had to take the clunker that they were going to give to their teenagers. That's all they had. That's all they're left with. That's all they got. And she said to me, I'm taken very well care of, but do you know that there is one thing I cannot do without? It's the Science of Mind magazine. Because that is my anchor and my foundation, and I want to read those affirmations. And I thought to myself, I can help. I felt that rush of relief. There's something I can do to make an impact on someone, and I realized that's in a lot of us. Just tell us what to do. We'll do it, and I've got to be careful that I don't overwhelm people with my desire to complete myself. Oh. This is a good time, though, to open up, to reconnect, to reach out. And we're doing that at the center. We're remobilizing our membership outreach team. This is a lovely team. Their task is to call every single member. That's a lot of calls. And we call to ask, how are you? Not only that, we want to tell people that our prayer practitioners, you met two of them this morning, our prayer practitioners are offering one-on-one sessions with people for free to help them navigate these challenging times. Now, a one-on-one session, what that means is some of you have been into the chapel for prayer after service. That's a short 5-minute experience. But these practitioners also often in-person, one-on-one sessions, like being with a spiritual coach. It is a luxurious moment of spiritual support. They're offering that for free through to the end of November. And why is there a time limit on it? So that you don't postpone it. So that you get the spiritual connection and help that is available. Now, the instructions for how to take advantage of this will be in the bulletin next week. It's as simple as calling up a number, and you'll receive a call back with a session for you to be heard and witnessed and prayed with. Now, if you've got that urge to help, it's still alive in you, you can help us. Here is something you can do right now. If you're a member and you love making phone calls, we've got 1,000 to make. You can help us connect with our people and find out how our community is doing. There'll be a short training. All you have to do is go out, turn left, visit Rodney and Teresa at the table, the membership outreach table, write your name down, and we'll take care of that. And not only do we want to get the word out about the practitioner offer, also we want to start spreading the word of the availability of our member assist program. And we're expanding it so that you don't have to be a member to apply. We're starting already to receive applications from people in our center who are experiencing fire-related financial difficulties and who may need short-term small financial assistance to help fill in the gaps. Because some people didn't lose their home, but they may have lost their livelihood. Their place of business may have been impacted. And what if they work on a contract basis, they still have to pay their bills. They may need some help filling in the gap. So we're trying to find out, where can we help? Oh, this is a good time to open up to what is needed, and to reach out, and to reconnect with people. Togetherness is healing in times like this, right now. And you can have even more togetherness this evening, don't you know? We have a beautiful interfaith service this evening, and the keynote speaker is one of our favorite, Rabbi George Gittleman. And he's going to be talking about, what do you take with you when you don't have much time? That's deep. And not only that, it's an interfaith experience. In fact, Reverend Tara will come up and tell you a little bit more about it later on. I want to tell you that it starts at 7 p.m., and it's also going to have simultaneous Spanish interpretation. So if you have friends who speak Spanish and who might enjoy a healing interfaith environment this evening, tell them there will be devices that they can put on their ear and listen to the experience in Spanish real time. And donations from the service, the offering, will go to the Redwood Credit Union Wildfire Fund. So that's where I'm going to be tonight. I've been talking to people about what's going on, people who have lost, people who haven't. Some people are reporting a strange sense of freedom, a lightness. Others seem to be going through all of the stages of grief. Some people who haven't lost anything are dealing with a sense of guilt that they're okay. We're all over the map with this, And even though we're going through it over here, life out there is going on. I was made acutely aware of that standing in line at the airport in Atlanta waiting to get on my plane to come back home, Because there was a kerfuffle. Somebody stepped into a line in front of somebody else, and there was this indignant voice raised, "Excuse me, sir, there's a line here." And next thing, sparks were flying, and I looked at it happening, and it seemed so unreal to me to be bothered about that. I wanted to say, here, you can have my place. Just don't fight. Because I think I've become sensitized. Here in Sonoma County, where what I'm witnessing is an increase in patience, an increase in kindness. You know, during the evacuation time, I think it was on the radio, somebody said, you know, when you're packing to evacuate, don't forget to pack your kindness. Oh, that's good. That's good advice. During evacuations and all the time. Under any circumstances, it's a good thing to pack your kindness with you every single day. You know, pack your kindness when you're making ready to put a comment on social media and you're irked. You know? Oh, it's a good thing. Pack your kindness and your love and your generosity, because without it, without kindness, this could be unbearable, especially in 6 months' time, when we are tired and adrenaline is wearing off. Oh, we got to pack that kindness for the long haul. We've got to take it with us. When we feel empty, we've got to dip deep into that bag and get the kindness out. I've been talking to people who have lost everything. And one couple said, we feel like we've been given a clean slate, a fresh start. Now, I checked in with them. It's not that they're in denial. They are quite clear about the associated feelings of loss and grieving that can come up and may develop. But for now, they said, we are feeling like the reset button was pressed. And one of them said something so interesting. He said, you know, I hope that I take advantage of this moment of insight and that I don't slip back into my regular way of being too quickly. Oh, I've been thinking about that, you know, how during moments of radical change and moments of great insight, there is this time just afterwards where a window of opportunity opens in which change becomes more available. But the window of opportunity lasts only for so long before things start to return to normal if we let it. So I've been thinking about that. Because whether or not a person lost their home or anything, it is impossible to live here and not be part of what has taken place. The reset button has been pressed for all of us. And there is a window open of possibility for newness. So I'm asking myself, how much of this goodwill, how much of this connecting with strangers, how much of this generosity and caring and patience am I going to keep alive in me, in my personality? How can I make that a permanent habit? See, because now I have a blueprint for it. I have a mental equivalent. Now I have seen the spiritual value of love in action. I have no excuse now. Can I welcome that image into my awareness? Can I plant those seeds in my consciousness? Because if I wait too long, will I forget what's possible? What I've seen? Might I slip back into my old ways? Or can I let the fires also create a new normal? Well, because these fires have impacted normal of every kind. Normal schedules. We're just adapting, all of us, as we go along. For example, we were in the process of receiving applications for serving on the board of trustees. Obviously, we have to extend the deadline. Obviously. And another thing that's been impacted was our giving intention program. You know, we started in October receiving our pledges and giving intention, and then our city court fires are quite clearly, we shifted our attention away from that and turned instead to ask people, how can we help you in rebuilding your lives? And still, many people brought in their giving intention forms, even people who had been evacuated, even people who had lost their homes. And oh, that's moving. No, I thank you for that. Because the reality is we want the center to be here, to continue to function as a place that provides inspiration and spiritual education. So thank you to those people who have been bringing in their intention forms. And if that's the last thing on your mind, understandably so, you'll only get compassion and understanding here. I mean, if you're coping with rebuilding your life, I don't expect you to be thinking of much else. And for those of us who have the bandwidth, who can spare the bandwidth to think of the center's future, please consider turning in your giving intention form today. There's something important to know about it. There's a gratitude gift we've been advertising for people who turn in their form. It was a concert with the Santa Rosa Children's Chorus. Well, we have to reschedule that because those children's school schedule was impacted, their rehearsal schedule was impacted, their family lives were impacted. So they will perform for us, but at a time that suits them better. So you'll get your gratitude gift, but just not at the advertised time. We'll figure it out. But one thing that will go on as planned is the other gratitude gift, which is the intentions workshop, a gift to those people who turn in their form. And I thought to myself, that what a beautiful thing to be doing right now as a Sonoman or Napan, as a Northern California, to get together to reimagine 2018. Oh, a full day of it. Oh, I look forward to that. For now, I invite you to join me in gratitude, a prayer of gratitude. I invite you to let your eyes close and to access your heart of gratitude and the tender innocence of being here. Let us give thanks for the kindness of strangers, friends, and family members. Let us give thanks for windows of opportunity like the one we are in, so that we have the possibility of making generosity of spirit a welcome guest in our consciousness. Let us give thanks for each other and for the warmth and encouragement we feel through being together. And let us continue to, and remember to, imagine a Northern California that is not just rebuilt, but one that is radiant, healthy, beautiful, strong, joyous, and amazing. And to bring this time of prayer to completion, I invite you to join me in saying, "And so it is."